Hello, everybody. A very good evening here in London, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you are somewhere in the world, let's just see. Yes, there are people. I have this little thing here that just tells me how many people are live at present, and there are quite a few people live. So wonderful to see you again. My sincerest apologies for being not as frequent with the shows as I had wished over the last few weeks. I was just in so many places where the internet just wasn't available or it was very shaky, and I just sometimes wanted to get on and simply couldn't. And as we are on this subject next week, will also not be possible to be broadcast again because I'll be in the middle of moving. And then the following week from October, we'll be on every single Tuesday with, well, all sorts Reiki, with the connection, with more information, answering questions, and creating a deeper and deeper, bigger and bigger Reiki community. I'm just going to switch to some comments and have a look. Who's there? There are quite a few people there. It's just so wonderful to see everybody saying hello from California, from France, from Wandsworth. This is just around the corner from where I am. This is just absolutely great. So wonderful seeing you all again. And a few more people are coming on. That's just absolutely amazing. So thank you for being here. Last week, I was running a Reiki master course in London, which was absolutely wonderful. And it's one of these things when you do it, when you are in the middle of it, when you're just full on 5 days with like-minded people, you go deeper and deeper and deeper. There are so many things coming up, so many things that come through intuitively. And we spent some time talking about the Reiki lineage. So I suddenly thought this is really an important topic. It is kind of one of the basics of the system of Reiki and also of the understanding of the system of Reiki. And yet there is so much misunderstanding around that I thought today we'll just spend the show or part of the show looking at what a lineage is, why it is there, what it, the purpose it serves, and all the questions around that. I'm just looking at a few more people greeting each other, and this is just so wonderful to see you all there. I see LA, which where I'll be again very soon. So the next show that I'll be broadcasting again will be broadcast from LA. And it's so lovely seeing Venetia here as well, the Senior Director of Alternatives in London, where they have the most amazing workshops and evening talks and live stream events. And I just saw, if I got that right, that soon, maybe Venetia, you can post that at some stage, as a link, that Neil Donald Walsh will be on a live stream and promoting or talking about his latest book. And Neil Donald Walsh, the author of mix it up now, of Conversations with God, is for me one of the most important spiritual teachers of the 20th and 21st century. I really feel that his work, that was channeled, that he of course had a big input in as well, really made such an incredible change to the world, and it changed my life. So it just gave me this deep idea, it implanted this idea that this life may indeed be one of many. And for me, this is a basis. No, it's the basis to understand the universe and to understand our lives, to understand the cycles, to understand that the experiences we have are indeed experiences. They may have a huge effect on our lives, but they don't really determine who we really are, because we are an eternal soul. And this is so much what Reiki is for me. For me, Reiki is so much proof in our hands that we are an eternal soul. And not just we, who of course can practice Reiki and feel the connection, but all the other people as well, even those we don't very much like. And this is then kind of led into this long process of thinking, so what does it mean? Would I have been, and I probably was, in a previous life, somebody who I would not have liked this way around? May I have been a completely different character? May I have been a woman? And of course I have been, because I saw myself in past life regression as a woman. So it's fascinating when we go into this concept, what it tells us about life. And this really, for me, goes very, very much back to Neil Donald Walsh, this understanding in my life. I mean, the understanding has been around for thousands of years. As long as mankind exists, humankind exists, this thought pattern has been around, but not accessible to that many people. And I feel once we are more aware of that, then we realize that we are not really making the world a better place, saving the world, looking after the environment for our children or grandchildren, but indeed for us when we come back in a future incarnation. So whatever we do, whatever positive change we do in the world, we may do it for the ultimately very selfish reason that we also benefit from it in next incarnation. That's not really what I want to talk about, but just seeing Venetia here made me realize, prompted that. And for me, that is so much what Reiki is. Reiki is this awareness, or helps to deepen this awareness, that we are spiritual beings in a body. And Reiki makes that tangible. And this is what I so love about it, the tangibility. We can feel it. We can feel that there are higher vibrations in the world, and we can access them. And I am now gently getting to the topic of the lineage. And because this is what Mikao Usui, the founder of Reiki, was looking for. A tangible connection. He was looking in his life to reach an awareness that in Japanese philosophy is called Anshin Ritsume, which is the awareness of I'm connected, I am eternal, I know, I embody this realization, this awareness every day in my life. It is not a hope. It's not even a trust. It is an inner knowledge. It's an inner awareness. It is a state of being. I am living, I'm acting as a human being, as a three-dimensional being, sometimes very three-dimensional, but I know that this is only for an experience. And it's okay to have that experience. It's okay to immerse in this experience, but ultimately we are much more. And this is what Mikao Usui was looking for, and what he did not find in 3 years in different monasteries in Kyoto. So ultimately, eventually, he went to Mount Kurama to fast, to meditate, to let go, to potentially risk his life and give up his life. Everything, all the food, the looking after his kind of body was not important anymore. He just wanted to be completely open and see whether this could eventually bring this experience. And it did. He had an experience of seeing light, of seeing nothing but light, he said. It was so blinding. And we went through this attunement experience with master attunements, the course last week, and there people were talking about having a very similar experience during and indeed after the attunement. So a lot of people have the experience of seeing colors, of seeing light, of shifting, of a big breakthrough, either during or after an attunement. And this was the moment that Mikao Usui had on Mount Kurama. He just felt a connection to higher levels in the universe. And subsequently, he said, actually, it was his words, by accident, he found out that this had led to healing, or indeed increased healing powers in his palms. Because in Japanese tradition, there is the idea of teate, which means everybody has the ability to heal with the hands. But generally, it is expected to have some comforting effect, but not this kind of strong, powerful effect that Reiki has. Suddenly, that was there. This is what Mikao Usui experienced. And subsequently, he created the system of Reiki. And in order to teach people, he had to give them the same powers. So he had to give them, in a way, this experience that he had of a complete connection to light, to love, that he had on Mount Kurama. And he created what today in the Western world we call an attunement. In Japanese, it's called Reiju, energy blessing. And this is this ritual, energy transfer, whatever you want to call it. Fine-tuning, this is why I like the word, an attunement, fine-tuning our aerial. So suddenly we realize what is there in the world. And what we realize is a connection to higher vibrations, to indeed the highest vibration in the universe that Mikao Usui determined or termed as Reiki, the highest vibration in the universe, which was a common term for this idea, this kind of connection between the creation and the creator, the original creative force. And this is what he said he felt a connection to when he had this moment of light. So this is what happens in an attunement, to get this very same gateway to this vibrational level. And this gateway is what makes Reiki so special. There are surely, well, there are definitely other gateways as well. Through meditation, through other energy modalities and traditions, through prayer, there are, some people have these kind of sudden awakenings. So there are ways, yoga, there are ways to find a connection to higher vibrations in the universe, or to the highest vibration. But they all have kind of different doors, and they feel slightly differently for those who have this opening. And very few of them, I don't want to say none of them, but very few of them give the ability to feel something tangible in your palms and to place your hands on somebody else and allow them to also feel something, indeed to use the hands as tools for healing. This is not unique, but very, very special to Reiki. So there is very little in the world that has a similar effect. And at present, in this kind of particular way that Reiki does it, I'm not aware of any, but then I don't know everything that's out in the world. But it makes Reiki so, so special. And when we receive this attunement, this is when the lineage is created. And when one eventually becomes a Reiki master and can give an attunements to other people and gives an attunement to somebody, then this is the next step in the lineage. A lineage is there to certify that the system somebody has learned, that the attunement somebody has received is done in this tradition of Mikao Usui to lead to the same opening Mikao Usui had. And this is why it is so center stage and important for the system of Reiki. And doesn't matter basically who is in your lineage. As long as they are attuned by somebody who also has lineage going back to Mikao Usui, then it's all okay. Let me just show, I did take a picture, and I did it in this mayhem that is around me at present. So I hope it's going to be viewable. Let me just see how that works. Where's my picture? There we go. This is a relatively dark picture. So what you can see on the left, if you can see it, is on the top it says Usui Shiki Ryoho, which is the official name of the Western lineage, and it says Mikao Usui as the very founder at the beginning. And then the next person he attuned is Chujiro Hayashi, one of his 21 master students. The next is Hawayo Takata, the American lady born to Japanese parents in Hawaii in the year of 1900, who learned Reiki from him, became the first Western Reiki master, and then started bringing Reiki into the rest of the world outside Japan. The next person is Phyllis Lei Furumoto, her granddaughter. And so it simply means that Mikao Usui gave an attunement to Chujiro Hayashi, a master attunement in this case. He gave a master attunement to Hawayo Takata. She gave a master attunement to her granddaughter, Phyllis Lei Furumoto, who gave a master attunement to Carol N. Farmer, who I don't know who she is. She is a Reiki master. Leah Smith as well. She then gave an attunement to William Lee Rand, who attuned one of my teachers, Penelope Quest, and she attuned me. And so when I attune people, they are attuned into this lineage. So all of my students, all of the students at the Reiki Science Academy in London, or for the online courses, the Reiki Academy, are given this lineage, and they have this proof. Indeed, there are many Reiki organizations, like the Reiki Federation in the UK, for instance, where you have to send in your lineage when you want to join. If you are not so sure about your lineage, then they will trace the Reiki master, and they have a lineage tracing service, which is really quite fascinating, how many lineages there are, because the lineage is one of the key ways to prove that it is the authentic Usui Reiki. There have been now quite a few lineages. In the vast majority of Reiki lineages in the world, the second person is Chujiro Hayashi. He was the youngest of Mikao Usui's master students, and he really dedicated his life then to promoting Reiki. He had in the 1930s a Reiki clinic, the only Reiki clinic in Tokyo. And he traveled all over Japan to give Reiki attunements, to give Reiki courses. And so he is responsible for some kind of different Japanese lineages then that started from him, but also for the Western lineage, because one of his students, as already mentioned, was Hawayo Takata, who then brought it into the West through Hawaii, then mainland USA, and then Canada. And the vast majority of Reiki masters, Reiki teachers in the world are coming from this lineage. There are also some other lineages, and there are some Japanese lineages that are connected with the Reiki Gakkai, the teaching organization that Mikao Usui set up. But given that this is a very kind of secretive organization, the only way to be connected to that lineage as a non-member of the Reiki Gakkai, and they only have a few hundred members now, is via people who have learned Reiki 1 and 2 there, but then did a master training in kind of the Western lineage. So it's like a combined lineage. But even though normally the lineage is given from Reiki master to Reiki master, and then the last person is then the Reiki student, no matter level what they are on, the real lineage doesn't start with a master attunement. It starts with the very first attunement with a Reiki 1 attunement. And I think that's really important to know that as soon as we get the first attunement, we are connected in a lineage to the founder of Mikao Usui, of Reiki, Mikao Usui. And when we then have a different Reiki masters for Reiki 2, and maybe yet another different Reiki master for the master level, or even take different courses with different people, we suddenly have like a family tree, lots of different Reiki lineages, and that is absolutely no problem. Every attunement strengthens, sometimes deepens our connection and gives us new experiences, and it comes with teachings from a different personal perspective. But all of these lineages have to go back to Mikao Usui in order to be an accepted and indeed an insurable Reiki lineage. There are varieties of Reiki that do not have a lineage, but they are not Usui Reiki. They are healing modalities that often involve palm healing, but they have adopted the name Reiki without being the kind of Reiki tradition that the world knows as Reiki that goes back to Mikao Usui, which is no judgment or criticism. The only thing is, one might argue it's a bit confusing to say that there are some kinds of Reiki that are not the Usui Reiki. So it might have been easier to call these lineages simply healing or give them innovative names rather than adopting the name Reiki, the Japanese name, even though none of these lineages without a connection to Mikao Usui, without going back to Mikao Usui, have originated in Japan. To my knowledge, there is not a single other healing tradition or spiritual tradition with that carries as part of their name the word Reiki that goes back to any Japanese origin. So the original Japanese start is always to do with Mikao Usui, and this is why in England, for instance, as far as I'm aware, no other modality carrying the name Reiki can be insured except those who go back to Mikao Usui. And this is why it is so important to have a lineage. And if you have trained in Reiki with a Reiki master who hasn't given you a lineage, then maybe it would be a good idea to go back to them and just get a copy of the lineage so that you know yours. And it is a bit scary to say, but sometimes there are odd things. I got an email recently from a lady who had me in their lineage. And quite a few people removed. So I attuned somebody who then attuned somebody else, who attuned yet somebody else, and then her. And I thought that's a bit unusual because that would all have been Reiki masters. And within the time frame of my teaching for about 12 years, it would be unusual to have so many new Reiki masters kind of going on from that. But then I realized that obviously when I'm in the lineage, the rest of the lineage needs to be exactly my lineage, because that's the lineage given to people I have attuned, and it wasn't. There were all sorts of people in there. So this lineage was fraud. And this can happen as well. I would say it's very, very unusual, but I thought it was quite fascinating that these things do exist. So if you do have a trusted Reiki teacher, then I would really ask them for their lineage and maybe even have a chat about the lineage so that you are reassured this is how it goes back to Mikao Usui. I'm very certain, though, that the fact that you are watching, the fact that you're practicing Reiki means you are feeling it, you're sensing it, you're having these amazing experiences, and they do come because you have learned the original, authentic Reiki. I just really felt it was important to talk about that because there is a lot of confusion, and I'm just going back to the comments, but I don't think there are many students there that, or many people who have commented on the lineage. No, well, probably was interesting enough so that people just listened. But that's really what I wanted to share today. So the lineage is an important element of Reiki, and it just guarantees that it goes back to Mikao Sui. Many people have such beautiful spiritual experiences, deep healing experiences outside of Reiki, that it doesn't mean that only Reiki brings these things. But as we are talking about Reiki, and as we are going to bring more and more Reiki into the world, I think it's just important to have this little reflection on the importance of a lineage, because it guarantees that we have the same energetic opening that Mikao Sui had. We have the same window, the same opening, the same gateway to these higher vibrational levels. And what makes Reiki so special is that it works on these different vibrational experiences. On the physical, on the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. So it does help with physical healing. It does help with our emotions, with forgiveness, acceptance. The mental level means to change our mind, our perspective, to look at life, ourselves in different ways, have more clarity. And the spiritual, of course, is all about the connection. Realizing I am a spiritual being, realizing I have access to higher levels of existence in the universe. I can get help. I can get intuition, guidance. I can feel the love. And I know that this life has a beginning and an end. But that is not all there is. I go on. We all go on. We are here for a collective and individual experience. But then we go on and the experience stays with us. We make sense of it, but we are eternal beings. And this is very much the truth that this lineage connects us to, this realization. And this is what I so like about these Reiki shares that we have, the Reiki shows, that we can connect with each other as well, that Reiki allows us to have such a deep connection that even people feel it who have who watch online at a later stage and don't watch the live recording, and they can still feel it. They can still feel the energy. And of course, we are a human being. We are in a body. That means we are having challenges. And Reiki helps us with this. But to just immerse in a Reiki share, to connect with each other, to feel the connection, and just lean back, let Reiki flow through us and feel it from everybody else, and allow Reiki to work on these challenges that we have, whether it's a physical problem, whether it's an emotional turmoil, whether it's a career, financial challenge, whatever it may be, or something that is going on in the world that bothers us. This is also a huge focus of these shows, and therefore I would love to now connect we all with each other, first to Reiki and then with each other for the Reiki share. So when you're ready, let's just feel the tangible connection that Reiki brings us. So when you're ready, just bring your hands together and take a moment to connect to Reiki. And then set your intention to connect with everybody on this Reiki share, both those who are here live at the time of the broadcast and those who will join at a later stage and watch the replay. If you've learned the connection or distance symbol, just utilize the symbol to connect with everybody. And then just let Reiki flow. Just feel the connection with everybody. Allow Reiki to take over, and also allow Reiki to take over on the struggles, the challenges, the problems that you are experiencing right now, and allow Reiki to work on it. Just relax. It really is so effortless. The connection is there, the intention is there. Reiki is flowing through you to everybody on this Reiki share. And through everybody, Reiki is flowing to yourself. And a few more minutes, let's just completely immerse in this experience of Reiki. And then you can bring your hands once more together and just take a moment to thank Reiki and slowly come back into the here and now. Of course, the beauty is a Reiki treatment, a Reiki share doesn't really end. It carries on. Our body is a body of resonance. It resonates further in the body. It starts a healing process, but then it gets deeper and deeper. So you may find that tomorrow you wake up with a different mindset, with different experiences. That's the beauty of Reiki, that it's not just a limited uh, um, timed healing, but that it starts a journey of healing for ourselves, for our bodies. And this was just wonderful to connect or to reconnect once more. As I say, it's been a little bit patchy for the last few weeks. If you had any idea how the last few weeks or indeed months were for me, you will be amazed that in fact it did work at all. But there is some more regularity and stability also in terms of location coming in. So as I say, the next show again will be broadcast from LA. And well, I'm working on some just fascinating projects that mean that we all together will be able to connect more, to deepen our experiences, and to reach many, many more people. I just see there are also some wonderful people from Berlin here tonight, so I'm so pleased. Hello. And yeah, it's been great to connect, to reconnect, and to share Reiki once more. There is much more in the pipeline. It just needs to be signed off. It needs to be the final step needs to be pulled off, and then there is a way to reach people with Reiki that has not been done before. So that's very, very fascinating. So once more, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this all happening and creating this beautiful atmosphere, giving your comments, asking the questions, and see you in 2 weeks. So have a lovely evening, day, wherever you are in the world, and see you next time. All I now need to do is, I almost forgot where everything is. I now need to find the right button to press. There it is, somewhere. Maybe I should tidy up. I've got so many pictures here now that I can pull in, which I don't really use, that it almost looks like my desktop. It's just terrible. So I finally found it. So once more, thank you so much. Love and light and Reiki.